direction. You get a little bit more of that powerful influence here. So he's really trying to go for, I guess, like, just because movement speed will affect your aerial mobility too. So he just really wants to be able to drift with these guitars here.
Yeah, you get a lot of burst range essentially. Right? You just are able to successfully cover that much more space.
Speedy Shark. And so far, these dash jump fastballs are actually looking pretty good. And Bagus is using the movement speed quite well. And when I think about it, right, when you're getting blasters that, like, I think a weakness that blasters have in singles that they don't really have in doubles is that you commit so hard to these moves that make you stand in place. If you have a lot of movement speed, you can just dash right into the dead zone of the blasters.
You're just seeing like these dash
damage.
jumps like across the stage, right? Bagus is using that as like a really like quick like surprise option, just sort of waiting for Keith to whiff something across the screen, dashing in there with the D-Sig. Oh my god, that space coverage, picking up the stock with the recovery as well. Bagus with a comfortable lead.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And the way that he's moving around so far is actually very exciting, because when we watched the match beforehand, we talked a little bit about dash landing is what we're now calling when you use that, when you land on the ground with your dash input a few frames before the ground, you lose those frames in exchange for that dash, you get so much more off of it. Look how much damage Bagus is doing. Bagus is using it really well in neutral to get in, land, and then find his greatsword openers. That was D-like ground pound and recovery. Almost, it would have been the best damaging combo that he could have done in that situation. He's got a huge lead here in game one.
Yeah, I just gotta say, a lot of the way that I've seen Bagus play like thus far has just been dominating the pace, right? Just sort of waiting for Keith to press something and say, okay, I have a punish, like sort of waiting for you. Looking for the recovery with the guitars, just slightly mispacing it though, and just waiting for the whiff. That's all that Bagus is kind of doing right now. He's
doing the downlight setups, and he's waiting to see what Keith's gonna do. And Keith hasn't exactly done something that he knows how to respond to yet with the recovery, but that's a second greatsword recovery taking him off the top. I really love that move when it comes to, it takes out a lot of the complications that other weapons have about having to hit their downlight first, because if you hit the recovery on your way down to the stage, you kind of dip down into the stage and scoop people back up, so they can't like dodge it by ducking underneath it. And it's a really strong move. Oh, but that sizing up the silence, the Diana classic. You had to like dodge up basically.
And Bagus didn't.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a really tight timing too. I think you get like a frame or two with your dodge to be able to get out of that.
Okay, right now, I gotta say, Keith is calling out like Bagus's jump-ins a little bit more now, right? Pressing preemptively when they're a little bit closer to Bagus, but coming in there with the downlight bridge, not able to actually find that finisher. Okay, looking for the down air here. Keith just backing up a little bit, respecting that range. Bagus committed heavily to that, but...
Oh, silent finisher! Didn't get it! I can't believe they didn't knock out. Okay, I can't believe he didn't go for the edge guard there. Keith was sweating, had to dodge back to the stage. Bagus instead opts to go for the weapon starve, but Keith had a weapon ready to go. That recovery could be huge, but he lands with the neutral light opener instead. Dash forward, Sarah. Can he get the edge guard here, Dara? It's going to be so close. Recovery dodge out of the way.
Oh, but then whiffing that, but okay, Bagus still able to close that out, still able to just sort of hold that in. I cannot believe that sidelight finisher from the beginning didn't take out that last stock.
Yeah, I felt the same way with that down sig when I looked at that, and I was like, huh, Mako actually doesn't have knockout power, does she? That was tough.
You get a lot of initial damage output, right? Beat with either the greatsword or the katanas, but
this dodge read in this replay here. Do we get to see it? Oh no, this is the Keith stock. Okay. Let's look at this, because this is just a classic greatsword. Oh no! Why would you do that to me? Anyways, dodge in place and then pivot with the new opener, and then goes to the right and then knocks out with the neutral light off the top. It was really cool. Bagus's greatsword's looking fantastic, and honestly, I'm seeing a good balance between both weapons from Bagus's gameplay here, which is what I said was such a rarity when it comes to Mako players.
I just feel like the biggest thing Keith, compared to like last game already, has been sort of catching on to a lot of these like really huge like speed like jump-ins, right? When you have that much mobility, that is like a little bit of an extra window that you have to prepare yourself to react for. Keith has been stepping back just a little bit more and has been able to kind of avoid that, but again, that damage output, ridiculous.
Yeah, and even when you're not getting the finishers there, if you have... Okay, what the heck, Keith? Keith, calm down. Okay, gravity cancel sideline almost came through. There's 4 hits unarmed, 5. Trying... Oh, Keith lost it. he finally picked up blasters. I think he was going for a side stick there, and Bagus gets like a... oh, he went for gravity cancel downlight there. Dare Sair, true combo, edge guard with the side air there. Okay, somehow Keith comes out on top. I think half the damage there was unarmed. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was just, maybe not necessarily the best recovery option for Bagus, just sort of pressing that and just stuck in all of that lag afterwards. But right now, Keith looking for the follow-up with the GCD light did not actually work out that way as Bagus just takes it off the top.
Yeah, high risk, high reward there. If Bagus jumped out of the down air the second time through and the gravity cancel down light hit, Keith would have gotten so much damage. And I guess he was like, if I'm going to lose my stock to single hit, I might as well go for it all there. And didn't work out, but I liked it.
Bagus is trying to anti so much with these neutral lights, and it is difficult because you don't necessarily have like the best like hitbox behind you.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what Keith ends up being. So you have to just sort of space that back a little bit better. Keith finds a downer, okay, and looks for the GCN sig. That would have been huge.
Yeah, it would have been. That recovery comes through. Nice dodge on that neutral signature. Keith's pressure is really ramping up now. Sidelight down light. Oh, he waits at the dodge, but he doesn't pivot the down light. He gets hit with the dealer recovery. He goes off the top. That's huge. That's 2 times now that Bagus, I think, has like had the right idea on a dodge punish against Keith. Just attacks the wrong way and then loses the stock for it. And that might cost him game number 2.
Yeah, right now Bagus is looking a little bit lost on this next opening. Keith is just sort of boxing them out and just keeping them out of any effective range. Everything that Keith is going for is catching Bagus's like movement options and jump-ins again and again and again.
Whoa, whoa.
What do you do with this?
Their side air just barely gets out of the way of the side stick. I think he just ground pounded thinking that he was going to get hit by it. And then he's like, oh, my jumps are gone. That was over. Was it over double damage? Oh, I can't do math. It wasn't. It was almost double damage. 527 to 288 there. Keith destroyed Bagus there in game number 2.
I mean, you saw especially like in that last stock the amount of times that Bagus just jumped in and then he immediately got swatted away by Keith, and that interaction happened like 3-4 times in a row.
Bagus tried to change how he was doing the anti-airs too. Like you talked about how the end lights aren't really that great against it, especially with the space that Keith was covering. And then he tried doing like dash jump dares where like he would like try to cross Keith up and the dare would hit halfway through, and I think like 2 of them worked and 12 of them failed.
Yeah.
And he took a ton of damage afterwards. So we'll see if he has anything else in the tank here going into game 3 against Keith, because I'd say after that game 2, Keith's mostly got everything figured out.
I mean, the biggest thing is if you're getting your approaches like swatted away like that many times in a row, you have to now figure out how do you make your movement a little bit more ambiguous. How do you start like dancing in and out of somebody's like threat zone, right? So like the most basic application of that is dash in, dash out, see what Keith does, see if you can bait something out and punish it.
Yeah, Bagus's movement was really comfortable there. We saw that pivot dash land where he's like trying to bait something out of Keith. But what all I'm seeing here is that Keith looks at Bagus. Bagus does like a bunch of fancy tricks, and then he hits him with like a combo starter, takes a ton of damage. I can't believe he goes to recovery there. This could be Bagus's chance. Oh, that side light in the recovery was crazy.
Okay, and there it is, right? This time around, Bagus playing second beat, waiting, said, hey, did you just press neutral light in my face? Okay, great, I have a combo, I have a stock. Yeah. That's it.
And the dashboard side was really great there. And then he got the dodge read, got the second poke, and then delayed so that he could get his neutral light finisher off the top. Really well played. D-Light recovery will even things up there 2-2, but good signs of life coming up from Bagus here in game number 3, where I feel like we're going to have ourselves a close set. I think guitars are primed up here. No, Great Sword came through. All right, that's great.
Okay.
Downlight opener doesn't go into anything, but that could be huge. Oh,
really good cross-up, but then doesn't actually get there in time. Yeah, nothing maybe besides like Saida could have actually connected in time, but it doesn't matter. This is right now Bagus's like edge guard attempt, backing off a little bit, wanted to catch that overshoot. But again, I feel like the consistency issue has just been getting these anti-airs because Keith has been finding these jump-ins so often.
Yeah. This is a very unusual neutral game being played here. I feel like Bagus actually has so many good ideas that he's just messing up a little bit on the spacing, because what makes Great Sword so difficult to play is after you get your opener, if you're going to cancel it, you can cancel it with like a chase dodge, or you can cancel it with a dash, and then the distance that you get on it matters because their next input on how you time it determines when the move gets out there. There's that down tick again, so great. And sometimes he gets these like 5-6 hit strings into a finisher. And then sometimes that happens. And then he gets one side light and then gets punished. Is that going to be? No.
Oh, goes through the dodge read, but then again, the verticality on the neutral light, not necessarily the best, but you know what, side sig just able to clean that up. You're all the way in the red though. You are Mako, so any hit can basically take off the stock at this point, and Keith is looking for it and is going to be able to find it. No extra credit dealt whatsoever.
Yeah, it was an unusual recovery because he like went off the side of the platform before hitting it, but still got it there. I wonder if Because when I saw that dodge come through and then Bagus went for the side light, I was like, why didn't he side sig there? And Mako's side sig on Greatsword might just have too much startup to be a good dodge punish now that I think about it. Like, it's just, I'm realizing Mako just has a hard time knocking out people when she's stacked on Greatsword.
Yes. That is the difficulty I found quite a few times. Yeah. But right now, Keith, looking for this follow-up, gets that jump call out. Okay, really good position to be in, looks for the down and is not going to be able to find it.
He's so good at it. He waits at the down light, gets the side light again, and then afterwards, okay, is that going to be it? Dodges in place, and then just gets called out by Keith. 2 Sairs, is that going to be it? Edgeguard opportunity here, nice side air. Takes Bagus' attention by throwing the weapon low.
Forces the high recovery, and then able to punish that high recovery.
Exactly. And it was really an excellent edge guard there. And that's like the difference maker in the set. Although I just feel like just 2 more strings from Bagus connecting where he's got the right idea and the execution's not coming through there. And this could all of a sudden just be a Bagus victory over Keith. It could have been a 3-0 by now.
My question is, what are the different sort of decisions that Bagus could be making to actually get those reads to connect? Because I feel like every time it's been like, okay, I'm so confident in this jump, I'm so confident in this dodge up, I'm going to either neutral light or neutral L, and then they just whiff.
What I'm noticing is it's the whiff part of the read, right? Like, I think the decisions are good. I'm just noticing that when he goes in for like the dash jump or the slide charge past that position, he just goes too far. And then the move just misses. And now we've got ourselves a switch off of the Mako. So this is the Magyar. In contrast to the 9 movement speed of Mako, we've got the 9 base defense of Magyar, the tankiest legend in the game, coming out here, replacing guitars with the hammer. Still has this similar crutch, I think, that Greatsword tends to have with signature kits, which is that like all of Magyar's signatures on Greatsword are pretty hard to hit with stack, but edgeguard opportunity here. Double dare, side air. Can you get it? That's the problem, right? What is he going to do to recover the set? I guess gravity cancel downlight would have actually been really good. Oh, is Keith going to get another Sair edgeguard?
Oh my gosh, just barely able to come back there in time. Could be looking through the finisher, wasn't able to get it. Keith looks for a couple of hits here. Now this is anybody's stock to take that side air, sending at such a nasty angle. Doesn't actually find the recovery to get the spike.
Yeah, and now we're trying to see who gets their 1-hit knockout here. Bagus has a little bit of an advantage over Bo, but if Bo's able to get that downlight through... Oh, is Keith looking for Nair? Cider could come through. Nair would be able to take it off the top. Down air. Excellent edge guard. And it's impressive to me that Keith wants to keep going off stage even with as much damage that's on him in those situations. But he forced Bagus off the side of the stage, took a bunch of extra damage, and now endlight finisher actually gets the job done.
Okay. But I'm just going to be opting to stick with the Greatsword. It's been working for Bagus when it actually works, when you get like that dodge read, when you get that kind of damage output. It is, of course, excellent. But the question is, how do you actually find this opening here? Keith just sort of taking the sweet time and coming back down here, going to be depriving them of a weapon. Greatsword still primed and ready to go.
Yeah. Weapon spawn, unfortunate though. Comes through, hits him with the neutral light, dash jump dare, goes for the gravity cancel downlight. I like that string attempt. Really good at low damage, is able to connect, but you can dodge out of the way if you're fast enough. And now Bagus goes right forward with a pivot sidelight. Another sidelight. No! Dodger comes in. If he just waits a little bit on that endlight opener, he could have gotten so much, but Keith manages to get out. Falling Nair does connect. Sidelight finisher, not enough to knock out. Sends Keith flying. Nice edge guard. Weapon throw. Could end it here. No, he goes through. Nair gives Keith the jump back that he needs to make it back to the stage.
Okay, just trying to dash jump back, space out of side. He doesn't actually find it here, picking up the weapon. Luckily, that NSEG just puts you up so high that you're not getting punished for it. That's going to be the finisher. That's the stock. I feel like that entire last stock was Bagus just looking for 2 to 3 exchanges, whereas Keith was whiffing a lot. And Bagus was just like inching closer and closer, looking for that like one opening.
Yeah, Bagus is doing a really great job. And Keith can't find the cracks in the armor this much as he was able to with the Mako. Something else that I'm noticing is that, let's see what he's able to do with that. Bagus is like going for like the true combos with like, you could do Rising Dare Nair, and that's knocking off the top, and some of those aren't connecting, but he's still managing to get the strings to hit with the finisher that he needs to be able to keep the game in his favor, and all that defense actually just keeping him alive there. I think that side stick knocks out any other legend in the game.
I think the switch just simply for like the defense factor is really paying off with Bagus here. The question is, can you make it back? Okay, really good use of the downer, able to touch the stage. Now you have Hammer on deck, playing back a little bit saying, okay, you know what, push in. All I need is this one opening.
Oh.
Tries to go through the D-Lite, doesn't find it, dodges out. Bagus is still alive.
Did get the damage, though, and any hit that Keith takes here, okay, good that he's able to clean that up. Because I was going to say, those were 2 dropped edge guards where if Keith takes any more damage, you might as well say goodbye to game number 4, and we'd be going to game number 5, because that's too much extra credit to be taken there for Bagus for that to be able to come back. Nice job, though. Does get the gravity cancel down light and a dare. Landing neutral light afterwards as well. Bagus taking a ton of damage.
Yeah, Bagus was just kind of, I don't know when they ended up losing the dodge, but they just had to eat all of those hits, basically, right?
Yeah.
Looking through this jump call out with some of these neutralers. Keith is opting to play a little bit more of a grounded game, but finally the neutraler, excuse me, catching Keith's descent back down.
Oh, Bagus with the dash jump side air takes him out, and that's something that neither Greatsword or Katars could really provide, is that one-hit knockout potential off of one good read. And Bagus is able to bring it to game 5 here with the switch off of the Mako to the Magyar.
Look at the reads that Bagus is getting. When Bagus is getting them, Bagus is like getting them so consistently.
Right.
And then always just like the times that Bagus doesn't connect that hit, it's because of a drop in execution, not a drop in like the decision making.
Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And that's something that I've been noticing that's like, it's rough when they're not winning. But it's easier to say and be happy about the results when they do win the game, even if they are dropping some things with their execution. Because it's kind of like, well, I agree with all the decisions that you're making. You just need to tighten up the mechanics there. And Bagus is like doing it in real time against a player that's as good as Keith. Reminder, that's PR2 in the region here for Southeast Asia. So really well played by Bagus so far. He's a game away now from moving into top 3 here in the Summer Championship.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I love the extension that Keith tried to go for. The light with the down air maybe would have hit. Bagus was a little bit too far to the left. Looking for a nice way to catch Keith on the ground here. And again, just looking for that one hit. Trying to get Keith to whiff something. And again, just like Bagus is sort of letting Keith fall into his lap here.
Yeah, this is really terrifying movement. Because I look at it and I go like, if you mess up, you could just go down here. Because as much as Bagus is controlling the stage with this movement, Keith is getting into stray hits here and there, and Bagus has yet to get anything started, and I'm starting to see him like crumble under the pressure of the fact that his game plan's not working, and now he swapped over to the hammer, gets one stomp Sair, but Keith, if he hits that down light, that's a recovery off the top of the stage, and I can see him looking for the right position there. Side light goes for the, I thought it was recovery. I think that just would have worked.
Okay, just dodging in place then. Picking up the Greatsword, able to get a couple of juggles here. Looking for that third one, going all the way up there, does not get the final recovery. Using up all the resources on the way back down, still pops out a sidelight. Keith able to get the recovery, that doesn't do it though.
Just can't knock each other out. Like Magyar doesn't do enough damage, but he also doesn't take enough damage. Finally, that dash jump falling Nair takes him off the top. We saw that a little bit with the Himway Sire game. Although it wasn't as quick of a Nair, I still really like when Hammer players opt to mix in that falling Nair to catch the landing so it can hit a grounded opponent. And he takes the lead, albeit barely. Like I feel like, yeah, that'll do it. I was wondering because it was Magyar, but Sair will knock him out, and it evens up 2-2.
Okay, just taking this a little bit slowly. Able to get that neutral light now, and with Greatsword again. Bagus is just playing this sort of like really dominant game plan that requires you to have that kind of execution, right? Very, very strong, has the right. Well, look at these reads!
He just walked. He just walked hard left. He was like, yeah, you're just going to do nothing.
Bagus is so confident in this.
Yeah, that was really bold. Let's see if it pays off. So far, oh man, you know, if that was Mako Greatsword recovery, twice now I feel like he just barely didn't knock off the top of
But I think that survivability is a little bit more important in the end. The fact is that Bagus is coming back onto the stage and able to get that one more interaction as a result.
I love that. Did you see that? Yeah,
that was the great. GC
gravity cancel D-Light. Yeah, so when you gravity cancel
You're so excited to talk about this.
Yes. Well, it's like my favorite move in the game for Greatsword. But in Greatsword in general, for those that don't know that are watching, you can gravity cancel a light attack, and you will get the finisher. It is not as powerful if you got the down tick would be huge. It's not as powerful as you got the finisher if you went through the whole opener bridge finisher string, but you still get the angle knockback of the move, and it's still powerful enough, as we just saw with that downlight knocking out. And when you gravity cancel the downlight, you get that like tornado motion downwards towards the stage, which is just honestly really cool. And Bagus uses that to take the lead. Now it's 1-1 though. Winner of this moves in the top 3, loser of this is out at 4th. This is a huge stock for both players.
Oh yeah, this is game 5. This is where all the pressure is just sort of culminates up until this point. And now we're seeing Bagus with the hammer. I feel like a lot of Bagus' success thus far has been with Greatsword. This might not necessarily be your weapon of comfort. Let's see how this plays out.
Oh, I think he agrees with you. Yeah. Switching over the second that it spawns through. Favorable down light, gets the neutral light finisher. Okay, Bagus is, I think he needs 2 recoveries. He gets a little bit more damage here, and Greatsword recovery could scoop Keith off the top. And if he finishes too hard for that, Nair, no, he doesn't get the combo. That could have been it, and Keith starts hitting a ton of bow neutralites. Downline to Sair. Oh, the ending into Spike. Can Bagus make it back? He has a dodge, but the ground pound comes through Keith, snagging that game away at the very last minute, even at a damage deficit. I can't believe it.
It came back down to the execution test. It was all because the neutral didn't connect.
That's unfortunate for Bagus.